Okay, I need to film this video before I lose my nerve. Okay. I'll take a look at my notes. I might get emotional at some point in this video. Just full disclosure, okay? Hello. My name is Brittany. I am in my early 20s and I've been living with chronic pain since the age of 15. It's a long story, and for the sake of time, I will try to be brief and concise about everything. My story with pain is my pain directly coincides with my cancer experience. But for the sake of time and you don't want to be here for a million years, I will film a completely separate video about my experience with cancer from start to where we are now. I've been thinking about doing this video for a long time. It's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start my YouTube channel. It's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start YouTube. Yeah. This isn't easy for me to talk about, but it is important to spread awareness. But I will let you know now that this is most of my darkest, painful, raw memories and feelings are linked to this pain. And we will be talking about the hardest time in my life, by far. And I haven't been living for that long, so clearly that says something. Oh well. Here's my scar. Yeah, so it's when I'm wearing a tank top, you can see how deep it actually goes in. Like, there's a divot in there. It's really hard to tell in this, but I'm sure you will see my scar in the cancer video. Basically, my friend saw in history class, he was sitting right behind me, he noticed a lump on my arm, and he asked me, "Hey, what's that lump on your arm? That looks weird." And I didn't take much notice of it then, but around 2 weeks later, it started to hurt. And I mean really hurt. So, initially what we thought was a cyst was really a rare tumor. And when I mean rare, 2 in 2 million are likely to get it. Lucky me. Yeah. So, My neighbors. Oh boy. Okay, so I was a freshman in high school and the pain got bad, but I didn't find out until after my surgery that it was actually a tumor. Like, they opened me up, thought it was a cyst, and when they saw it was this tumor, they basically was like, "Oh crap. We need to biopsy this. Stop everything." So I didn't find out until after I woke up, with this massive scar on my arm. So, oh God, this is so hard to talk about. The pain wasn't that bad the first time around, but, when the second and third tumors showed up around a year later, when I was a sophomore in high school and almost done with that year, it got bad is just, that's not even the best term to use for it. This pain that I had pushed me to my very limits. It pushed me to my limits. Like, I didn't know what pain was until I felt this. Yeah. The first surgery happened. And because the surgeons they tried their best. They were just general surgeons at the children's hospital. And they didn't get all of the tumor out. They didn't realize. So what that meant was the entire year after, I thought I was in remission. I thought I was recovering. Not one, but two tumors were growing up against my main nerve in my left hand. And guess what? I'm left-handed. Yeah. So it was a recipe for disaster. Um, when the pain started coming back, I thought it was scar tissue. I'm like, oh, it's just my scar tissue. It's gonna hurt like this for a while. It's gonna hurt. It's fine. I can deal with it. Until I lost feeling in my hand. Until I would start to shake and barely hold a pencil. It would get to the point where I'm like shaking and the pencil would fly out of my hand. Or when it would just go completely numb and I couldn't feel any of my fingers. I couldn't feel my hand. I couldn't really. It took all of my willpower to move my arm. And my final straw was when the sharp shooting pain would go down the arm and up into my chest. So I was being mismanaged by my oncologist because she thought, okay, we're gonna go get a second opinion. And we did. We found a specialist at Hillman Cancer Treatment Center here in Pittsburgh. And they basically saved me. But originally we thought that surgery was not on the table at all. But he said, oh no, we can do surgery, and your surgery is in a month. We're getting you are on the priority list. You can't wait hardly any longer, or you'll lose the use of your arm if you wait any longer. Yeah. So I had the surgery. It was pretty aggressive. But after that, was the real trial. I had to go through 7 weeks of radiation therapy. If anybody on here has had cancer and had to deal with radiation, you of all people will know. It is not a good time. Imagine your worst sunburn that you've ever had and multiply it by 30. My skin turned black, like burnt toast. I watched as they burned me every single day. And the fatigue, the nausea, I was dead tired and sore. That pain was terrible. Absolutely terrible. But I eventually healed. And now I'm in remission. But that was my entire junior year of high school. That ordeal went down. A year later, my senior year, I was still dealing with the side effects of radiation. And I was still dealing with fatigue and some chronic pain. We did some scans, and there will be some permanent nerve damage. They basically took out my entire muscle. Whatever the tumor touched and attached onto, this is good context to know, that part of your body is unusable now. It's not viable anymore, so they had to cut it out. So I'm missing like 40% of muscle mass in this arm. Yay! It made it extremely hard to write and exhausting. And I still have, to this day, residual pain that, oh my goodness, it just, there are days where I can't get out of bed. My entire body feels like it's being weighed down by rocks. I still have some numbness, but that comes and goes. Sometimes I have to sit here and just stare at my hand and just make it move. It would throb. My arm still throbs. And even though I'm dealing with chronic pain now, it is like on a scale of 1 to my worst with my tumors, it is at, on my best days, a 3. On my worst days, a 6 to 7. But I have no choice. I have to live with it. I have no choice in the matter. And it has affected my life mentally, emotionally, physically. And not only that, but years after the fact, I was diagnosed recently with fibromyalgia. I thought it was an old person, condition. Because if you see those Lyrica commercials where, like, all these retired people are like, I deal with overactive nerves, and, like, they're, being active and enjoying their retired life, I thought initially from that commercial that, oh, this is an old person disease. But when my pain specialist told me, they're like, no, Britt, you have fibromyalgia. And this is a condition that you're pretty much going to live with. Okay, so not only does my arm hurt now, my entire body hurts. My entire body hurts. So I have to adjust my life and live my life differently than everybody else. One of the things that I do, and anybody who has pain or stress or anxiety, anything like that, I recommend getting a little stress ball. This is my little ghosty, and I literally, sometimes I'll just absentmindedly sit here. I go nowhere without him. He's with me at all times. I'll just sit here and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, because most arthritis doctors will tell you motion is lotion. Exercising does help, and I have to some days push myself to get up and exercise through the pain, because I will feel better after. Stretching, yoga, and since I'm a dance teacher, I already have to do this, and it has made dance very hard. Not to mention that I'm not even a year out from my broken foot and twisted ankle, so I'm still dealing with some residual pain from that. I'll show you something else. Starting in high school, when I was first diagnosed and the pain was getting bad, I go nowhere. I always have an ice pack, an instant ice pack, or a cool bean bag, rice bag that I have in my freezer. And then I have a rice bag for heat. Those help. Hi, Pepper. I know, you're mommy's baby. He's literally right here, staring at me, wondering why I'm talking to a camera. Pepper has also helped with my pain. He's just a good emotional support. Walking him is very healthy. We go for walks, and he enjoys it. I enjoy it. Helps with pain. What else do I do? I also am managed on medication. I have been on every kind of medication under the sun. Opioids, the hardcore stuff. That wasn't fun. I will never take opioids again. And I could do a whole story time video of why, but like YouTube might restrict it. But I am being managed now on nerve medication. Unfortunately, there are some side effects that are pretty gnarly. But right now I'm managing on the lowest dose possible. And I could always up the dosage by half if I'm having a particularly bad day. But, like, I will be on these medications for the rest of my life. Yeah. And I will always have to, because of the rarity of my tumor and the specific nature of treatment, I will always, like, have to go in and get checked, do an MRI. I have now graduated from every 6 months, to once a year, with an all-day appointment, to run the tests so they can poke and prod and see if I'm still cancer-free, which I am thankful for, by far. Yay. Another thing that I do to help with my pain, is actually eating more anti-inflammatory foods. Like, I've done pretty well cutting out processed foods for the most part. There's some days where I cheat a little bit, and then I feel it the next day. Yeah. Like, it's true. Fast food is high in all the bad things, like oil and salt and sugars, and all of those things can just inflame your nerves in the worst way. Oh boy, did I just mess up my bangs? But several anti-inflammatory foods that I do really enjoy are fruits like blueberries, dark green vegetables. My doctor also has me on a turmeric supplement because I don't get the whatever spice turmeric is in my diet very much on a day-to-day basis. So he did put me on turmeric, which has, I do think it helps with management. My pain will never be cured. My pain will never go away. And I might live a long time. And that's a long time just to constantly be in pain. I had to grow up overnight. The typical high school experience that a lot of people have, I didn't have. But if you're curious of how I live my day-to-day life and adjusting things so my pain is better, I'm working on a vlog video about it, of like what I do in the morning, what, like, when I pack my lunch, what kind of foods I pack, what kind of exercises that I do, what do I do for my dance classes, that sort of video. So if you're interested in that, just stay tuned for that. It's coming. But listen, I'm not alone in my pain. It has strained relationships in my life. And for anyone out there at any age of your life, please know that you're not alone. You are not alone in your pain. There are people out there like me who understand. Your experience. Your experience is valid. Your feelings are valid. Don't let people tell you, oh, you're too young to have this much pain. You're fine. You're not my age yet. You shouldn't have arthritis. Age really doesn't have much to do with it at this point. There's a lot of people out there that are dealing with chronic pain regardless of age. I just want you to know that there are options out there. If you don't like how your case is being handled by your physician, consider getting a second opinion. There are different treatment options. There are ways to cope without medication that can work with medication. So maybe you can end up on the lowest dose possible like me. You'll be okay. And I had to tell myself that a lot. But you'll be okay. You will live. Hopefully. Like me. But in these times, there are so many uncertain things. And your concerns about our current global situation, because of your pre-existing conditions, your chronic pain, the fact that we are more high risk, are valid. Your concerns are valid. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise or gaslight you into thinking, no, I'm fine. I can go out without, you know, what we need. I don't need to sanitize my hands. I'll be fine. Okay, I'm really trying to end this on a positive note, and I should be positive because my situation is way better than it was before, but I'm very tired today. I pulled a long shift, with little kids, and I'm just... Okay. I'm gonna go take a nap. I will see you in my next video, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, and follow me on my social media, and my sister. Bye!